shara bya mitumba naenda abange siko gali nkwebuli balenga nimbwate bibesa bikeigo nkinda nyare ko bagingokora wakaribishirwa asema matefi mitumba oti niki besa kiriyo bwate elinde tunyare ko batowikaransa tunyare ko manyanga musigo kyota kere ko bagogo cyakera oyorumuya ligoli elili kasi kiriyo bwate igobono kera nyare kana ngano bwate kiri busano elibusita tuikaransa ngari go kobolinga nkina akore
asamange bakire simyase namba 0727081605 gose 0727574835 nigo bakwigora amatukonse sheiki mama tifi mitumba obokoryo bya bwa mitumba urigene
Simarani au piga simu nambari 0755331318. Hurricane Academy, the future is here.
Je, umekuwa ukihangaika na shida macho bila jawabu? Sasa usiofu tena. Optex Opticians ni kliniki cha macho ambacho shughulikia matatizo kama vile free computerized eye check-up, ambapo unapimwa bila malipo, unatibiwa kulingana na shida yako au kupatiwa miwani. Free spectacle repair, yani ikiwa miwani yako iko na shida, wanaishughulikia papo hapo bila malipo. Optex Opticians pia wanauza miwani ya aina mbalimbali kwa bei nafuu, kuanzia watoto hadi ya watu wakubwa kama vile kidswear, menswear na womenswear. Wanatumia bima mbalimbali za afya kama vile SHA Comprehensive, Britam, Fast Assurance, Lyson, AAR, CIC, APA, Mtiba, GA na Trident na zingine nyingi. Optex Opticians wanapatikana kote nchini Kenya. Mjini Kisii wako na matawi mbalimbali kama vile Gusii Plaza Front Office, Ram Hospital, Hema Hospital na Itiro Nursing Home. Pia wako na branches zingine kama vile Migori, Homa Bay na Kisumu. Kwa mengi zaidi wapigie simu kwa nambari 0780520201 au 0704520201. Unaweza kuandikia kwenye tovuti yao www.optexopticians.com. Optex Opticians and Eye Clinic, macho bora, maisha bora. Mokaya Uhuru Superstores Limited Kise wono nigo yayihoire first class showroom yabire ntanga nigo chakiwa asorogongorwa South Nyanza na South Rift sabateja bago chaberera mabati kurwase company ya mabati Rolling Mills nigo babwata bataramu nechibundi bago korosire bunota keire gochora amabati ayura agachire umuche amone chinyomba chiri yasara babwata mabati yechi warrant kuri myaka 5 ebere wiki myaka 50 bunabono charcoal gray, tile red, brick red, sky blue, maroon, chocolate amona yanda mange. Uhuru Superstores baigo nige bwati machine kire chiko chogania erangia eliokonyora erangi uganetie emanyikaine buna Crown Paint Color Mixer nigo bwate chibundi abo barakwe abo semiguri chirangi aho chakira economy kuika premium ichura nyare gwaka isiko na ime chinyomba elikororoka na buya kurwase company ya Crown Paint inyura Ouro Superstores nero yoka sorogongorwa South Nyanza na South Rift jabire ntanganyiko igora first class showroom ya mabati rolling mills hambo bwigo otware mashini yogochika nchirangi cha Crown Paints emanyikanite muna Crown Paints color mixer korwa USA ilikorenta obo koreli inka Ouro Superstores lige gotoko mochibu songo Ouro Complex angena Safaricom Boigo Babwatu rosagia ronde imea JM Towers ijuera angena Credit Bankise Bakire simia se namba 011-1161-500 Gusova likere email info@ourusuperstores.com Ouro Superstores, the people's choices, guaranteed lowest prices. Karibo nyumbani.
Ukisema chance data Inchua songo marana mayachiro
Etaya TV Oborabu Wagusi.
Uya kigi mono mwancho muligelia ngosobo kwa virasa mangana ya magiogi na bintu bikora baiko lakini karibu sasa mega ya kabiri nari kumanya igoro akumanya ngari tukulia lero nigoto yaliganire kubora ni alibolio nga will ODM survive after Raila's exit elio la liboli turabito kubora ni no magio naiga uyo oikira se studio elio gochiko tokonya otema komanya usiko tu understanding nga ninki kirachi koba from a political angle ekizamo chonsi kabisa usukubora ni nga krokende kema ikebere united forever yes Raila agechakia. Are we going to expect the same unit? What might be the possible in outcome magiga ya exit kia Raila Molo Odinga gono na riturachi kubora ni kono turagenda soma gani dakeyemo ndo jabona mangari tukabaka kwa kiwa kubolenga sema ya kwa studio jinsi ya Facebook mitandao na boko terasi namba yetu simi tubate na kubeka chujumbe chao ngakire mwalgano magani ona sita tukigarero sasa makaba abo go terasi kamera kabisa ago sogeli na kuemanya kania senchira ya bene elio tumenye chaka. Thank you so much for coming home magani ya manyekani kabisa bano asoma nchumuligelia.
Thank you. Chief Mokaya John Mani mwakili wa High Court ya Kenya. Politician and of course a lover of Baba. Say there kitu cha South Boge Kawon. Ngile libageli diabene kwa Azizi na pole ucha familia Baba na Abakenya wose the laws of allegiance.
Yes sir na onaro jenga guikocha ikiagera ngonte ikwalenga nga mugako lina kwa musikite sana kararo opposition na mugo feeling we are living in a country but na bonde do chaka wakili. And I want to give you this moment after the first time tuachira iga na this is the first time uocha iga na konyara koba gesa Raila Odinga asiro bugimabwaye you would not gotten a chance on media probably muneta TV ikiritima ide lakini bakonyoranga aseintwe na bakonyoranga intuntura umerana na kikiagaranga kwa libageri gasenchira ya bene ora tumanyinga makikuwa manyite Raila Molo Odinga buna umuwakili na ndo mwanasiasa
We have all grown as is, the people of our generation,
Sure.
and maybe some ahead of us. We have all grown knowing Raila as one of the people fighting for the rights of Kenya. We've known him as a political reformist, one who believes in rights chavanto, one who believes in delivery by government or holding the government accountable, and the leader we all wanted. Unfortunately, we have lost a great leader, I believe, in the recent times, especially within our republic, because Mokaya Raila was a legend. Monto olikonyara kobeka bantamo owaira towards a direction atagete, especially when it comes to political decisions, community decisions. He was one leader that always people looked upon. Nganga yage ndagochia. Even the times harigosira igoso o kore handshake oso eserekali bantu bali rabate banga wano baba na kiakora nero mwelekeo opposition nero mwelekeo what the larger Kenyans. I mean, what really happened, but we are headed that way. He was also a human being.
Sure.
It's sad, sometimes people say he left too early. Some of us, the country had not prepared for the exit of Baba, in the sense that we were never told Baba Narwarete.
Sure.
We didn't expect Baba has any medical issues that we knew as a public, and his loss was a shocker to many. So Manyeng Tebenga, he's lost, but his legacy remain.
That's true. That's true. Mtete wana tuirane kabisa. Raila as a Kenyan, as a politician, na nabada kuwa murukiro monto linge statesman, uwaniriri rights kia Kenya sana. He brought a lot of changes, of which I don't really to go there. But amongst Raila created na nde bigatwara sana legacy and Kongo ne kiama kia ODM. And for real, that is what I really want us to base argument yetu ni chingone chetu rachibe kabo. How have you known kiama kia ODM since it was formed?
Aziz, most political parties or in Kenya have their leaders, and mostly the party leader is the person who bears the greatest responsibility. That's the person okonyara koena no mwelekeo we party. We have parties in Kenya. UDA has its party leader, the president William Ruto. We have Jubilee as Uhuru Kenyatta. It has not been handed over. And for ODM, we had Raila Molodi. He was the unity. He was the team leader. He was the person making decisions on where the party goes, on what the party does, or which team the party joins. Up to making decisions sometimes, mean on who gets the ticket.
Yes.
Yeah, ODM, and in which region, and who. Sometimes you would get into agreements on what have you tiga nyareba and this time, was a running mate like we saw in Migori or Yugi Magwanga, who
yes.
all wanted to be governor. He had to intervene. So he actually was the face of ODM. Now, like most parties, when the party leader leaves, there is definitely a gap.
Yes, sure.
There is a pinch, especially on the people who believed in ODM, the Kenyans, those life members, the people, the leaders in the party now want to ask themselves, where do we go after the party leader, whose ideals? And Raila was one man, Aziz, who would we would bring crowds to a stadium and tell them, this is what we believe. At some point, we told, it said, it said, don't take certain goods, and they had economical effect.
Sure.
But now we have ODM as a party left, and they are orphans. We have factions, like we have seen on the media, and we are told that there is a faction that believes that they should remain in the broad-based government. There's another fact that believes that they should vote their own basoke barosie kiabo by the ODM. There are those still who believe Ruto should come and join ODM.
Sure.
So that without forming a coalition. So there is confusion. We are not sure whether the acting party leader, Oburu Odinga, is fit enough to fit into the shoes cha Baba. But I think in their wisdom, they did not want to get immediately after Korusi Baba, Use Baba Gotibekwa. You do not get into the politics. You are party leader. You know, party leader is elected, and it's the members, delegates council has to be called. Party leader. So in this circumstance, we know they are avoiding that politics. But ODM is confused. We do not know. Finally, they are saying, "Oh, to sell Nyarebe, to Nyarebe for the party." And even during the time they were eulogizing Baba during the burial, everybody else was saying, every speaker was like, "I was very close to Baba," and he told me, you know, they are all trying to communicate messages that possibly Baba told them, which would be conflicting at some point. Sifuna tells us, he said, he's okay, a government must be held to account. Others believe that no, I mean, we are in broad-based, we are in government, we have a partnership. And that confusion has really, I believe, Cyrus ODM.
Yes, sir. Can we saying Sekiamakia ODM currently there is a state ODM is unity and stability following Raila's passing. Karibu ya current.
Definitely, it will take great leadership Konyara Koveka ODM as a party amo, because these are people who had different interests but who are united by one factor. Raila Molodi as the party leader, so even in their ideals here ODM, they believed in what Raila believed in. Now the party leader is not there. The ideals, Keromonto, I mean, you know, every politician, every leader in that party had their own interests. So now it will take great wisdom to unite ODM, because already Joho is in government. You tell him so ODM, Oparanya is in government. Sifuna feels they should form the next government. They should have the presidential candidate. So the uniting ODM, Wanga feels should be a running mate in government. Yeah, Ruto. So uniting ODM is going to take a lot of wisdom. First shot, I think the first NDC they had, Oburu Odinga was wise enough. He did not throw tantrums to anyone. We expected that after the NDC, those who have felt like they are disloyal to Baba or to the broad-based government. But after the meeting, they came out united. That was the first show of unity. And they said that what they are looking at is giving time to Baba's issues, the 10-point agenda. They give it time. You know, that is trying to not you first let them chiberam. And that was a shot for the acting party leader, I believe, in terms of having everybody with varying interests to remain united. Yes.
We currently have Purodik as the acting party leader. We have Gladys Wanga Kavanoma Bay as the chairperson. We have deputy party leaders, our governor Paul Simbarati. We have Bruna Swamad Nasir. Deputy party leaders. What might be their role to ensure impactness here?
I believe the ODM leadership have, like they all said, that they have all learned under the feet of Baba.
Yes.
They believe or they know what Baba would have done in a given circumstance. The fear is that we do not want to reduce the party ODM to a tribal party.
Yes.
And I believe that is why even Baba, when the deputy party leaders, akaenda na Western, akaenda na Gusii, Coast, you know, and retained the chair as a Wanga. That is to give the party a national lookout, like a national party. And that is the fear. So that then the leadership must themselves first really get ready. You get a forge forward a tone that they're uniting to, even the voters, even the members of ODM, without making them look like it has now been turned into either a tribal party or and lose the national figure. So that the party leadership, Koru Simbarati, said he's ready. I think in his statements, he's demonstrated that as a deputy or as a party leader, he's ready to take over, and he will forge on the vision ya Baba. Abdul Swamada said the same. I think Wanga has told them that as the party, the chair, she's ready and she's well trained, and she will carry forward. It is that assurance we need to give to the members of ODM. And ultimately, ODM must choose a party leader. It must be a person, of course, not the figure ya Baba, but somebody who would have in the shoes, reason and go suguma like Baba would have done.
Yes, Anna, that one brings me to Bosia. If that one comes in, Bosia, each and everybody will really want to have that seat as a party leader.
That is correct.
And they can get divisions as well.
In any other party, I believe Baba was wise enough to always, even when he had, presidential nominations, he had candidates opposing him. At some point, Ruto was one of those people who wanted the ODM ticket for presidency, Mudavadi and the rest. At the end of the nominations, you bring them together. Definitely, we expect that leaders are going to scramble for the party leadership. They must first ask themselves that is it necessary to take the party to elections at this point? Because the moment they call elections too early, there will be exits. We expect that there are people who will feel anyway, Baba Tai ODM. So to unite these people, I believe Oburu would remain as the figure father of the party. I would advise the politics, if I were the one to advise ODM, that he could be acting even for a year or so, 2027, so that then after that, they would reorganize. Because if today they call for elections, party leader, people would scramble for it. People want that position. What happens to those? We expect revolt. Nobody, Baba had wisdom, had a way, even after Gokora, the nominations or party elections, to bring all of them together. I don't think we have a person who got that wisdom. So rather we avoid the elections for now, but caretaker figure father, which Oburu has taken, to unite nominations and elections, then they can consider that after the election.
Yes, Anna. Bantawange wekema kia ODM barorekanire bagutaka work closely na serikali ya Roma wati goteba ye broad based government. Na such na ndabanta bangi barorekanire kwanyanga Ruto asoe aseke makia ODM. How possible is that? And probably, Ruto is as well leading a party that is UTA, which has got a lot of people under that party who are supporting him as a leader. What might be the effect if he comes in? Okay, what is the possibility of Ruto coming to ODM, and what might be the effect Yokorua Utika join ODM minus a coalition?
Those are speculations, and we all speculate and give ourselves answers.
By the way,
yes,
he was a
founder member. Yes, and he is ready. There is talk, of course, that there is a likelihood. There are two scenarios. That they either form a coalition and run for government. I think it's generally accepted that most parties run to win power and position. And for the presidential position, then ODM would want Conero at least some point there a honorable president. So I think there is also a talk that Ruto might resign from his UDA party and join ODM. Issue is what would be the effects of the same. Effects are that there are people in ODM who may not accept Ruto because he already left formed a party. Their senior, Oparanya has been the senior position in ODM.
Yeah, sure.
Badi. We have leaders like Joho. What are they going to feel that now Ruto is decamping from his party to join? ODM. And there are those ODM members and senior leaders like our own Simbarati, the governor, who would also wish to even become a party leader. Would it have been fair? Would it have done justice to the party members for a long time? On the other hand, UDA. What are the leaders? Even the people in UDA believe in Ruto. In political parties, we have figure fathers, people who we worship. UDA worship Ruto. If Ruto says today you are not supposed to be in UDA, you will be kicked out. Yes. So now, those people who believe in the UDA ideals, those people who are still in UDA, would they be accepted in ODM? For instance, Kitutu Chache North, South, we had leaders fighting for the ODM tickets, they failed and they had to go to UDA. Some were elected, some were not. Yes. So now, how are you going to unite UDA
there is still
with the division and the hatred and the competition between the parties? People feel think of a safe guard. So it's safer working with a coalition because joining ODM would mean that he ceases being a UDA member and comes on board, and it would be turbulent. It would clearly raise issues. He would come with his team. He also has his trusted people. Can he come as a party leader? Atige Secretary General, Atige Chairman, he is coming with new members. Would they be accepted? Because even as you come as a party leader, you need people around you. So would they be accepted? So it is safer working as a coalition. And they would form a coalition, be already in broad-based. We are not sure. ODM says they will either be in government or form government. Statement to mean loosely interpreted in either they have a presidential candidate, or say by being in government, that was a coalition. And that is where they say Baba left them. Yes.
Yes, sir. Do they really want to sing at least ODM?
Yeah, actually, a president. Yeah, give it. Definitely. What ODM, after 20 years of being in active politics, Baba never succeeded. Unfortunately, he was the people's president, but was never sworn in as the president of the republic. Yes, sir. And ODM would want to achieve that by all means. And then those people propagating the fact that Ruto join ODM would maybe they believe, don't want to say they do, that it's true. They believe Ruto would be winning the next time. So that at least in the history books, when you are ODM, president. Form the coalition that president. Though it did, I think Kibaki Raila supported, I think that time. So they want a member of ODM who finally becomes president. And that would be the motivation behind Ruto to become to ODM.
Yes, sir. Kero kuligera kiama kilikia ODM na wabeka buyanga as much as Oburu Odinga is reacting, but leader kero kumuligeria kimiaka, he seems to be a father figure rende ora replace Raila in as much as he because to be Raila mbiri beating. But common the sana no like Raila renge moyo is that one man who's not really into serious politics, like omontori go push ebintu. Do you think in a kerokendo kwa party leader nereta matunda mayasi kiama ODM? Will we not have no komeka go chore generally whatever Raila could come to a region, for instance Kisii County, and to everybody ODM boss he meets them over Kwanira and ba buya ba menya na buya support you take go support you or you don't support you usabe running with for instance na ando okanya liberera. Are we going to expect that? You saw what was almost happening in, I think, Migori. Both of those guys, each and everybody really wanted to cover the governor.
That is true.
But Correct. And there was that one man, while you are in that party, we can't take it.
You must listen, yes.
That
loyalty. I think Aziz, as the party leader, I think so far, the members in the leadership have shown that they would listen to him. Like I told you, the NDC, when you are the chair of the mid-committee meeting, we believe that resolution Chikoba arrived at, you had a great influence. So coming out united, it shows that they would listen to him. Would he have the loyalty and the following like Baba? Of course not. I mean, he has not cut out himself. Worship like Baba was. But if they endorse him for that position in party leadership, in the meantime, like they have, I believe he may not get that much following. But you also remember, Aziz, there is no time Aburu has been out of government.
Yes.
Has not been elected. It means his elder brother has really pulled, younger brother actually, has pulled him in the classes, almost all along. And he would of course not show his leadership or come out when there was a leader. Now there is a position, there is a vacancy to say, there is a vacuum that he needs to fill. By being a brother and having been so close that sometimes he would speak on behalf of Baba and what Baba wanted. We want to imagine he may get that leeway. Yoko Nyarako unite. The only duty we'll be having unite, just to have them remain together and have the party move, a field candidate, a voice and a following in the next phase. Safe if they formed a coalition. You see, now when you're in a coalition, you have a presidential candidate who becomes your God, who becomes the person you're following. ODM would not look like Nebuatega. But if ODM were to either go out without the presidential candidate or fill their own, then they must bring out someone the caliber above. It would be a great, it would be almost impossible, I believe, from the leaders, Ndoche, I said the ODM leadership. So they have to pick one of them.
Yes, sana. Abantu barabange babeire bagochorwa simyaka mingi sana. Utarasikia chama cha ODM. Most of them batari gukora campaigns mono. Abande bari ko bwati Raila majorly during campaigns kebni president. Wanyora bona alia bali ba locally majorly from Nyanza, parts of Busi Seta. No nyine nyiza mujiri cha Kenya no Mombasa. Abantu gete par konyora ochoru kwa raisi. But there was a time you could not vote out of ODM. Kunguru paka MC in a block. Are we going to experience such a thing again?
In Nyanza, I think in its post-father, we only have a few days, a week or so. And I think the effect Yababa would remain in the by-elections and possibly in the 2027 elections. Losing the sight of Baba, the vision of Baba will take time until we accept he is no longer with us. They called him a spirit. And he has been influenced to great deals, most of the people, especially from Luonya. There are people who would say vote and they vote. So as long as ODM is alive, as long as ODM will field candidates, that spirit of Baba. Of course, we are seeing people trickling in Bondo to pay their last respect. Everybody wants kuirebi chakorwaje. Maybe sio. And that respect is of course political. It gives you some political mileage. This respected leader, now you associate him. So his influence in the recent part, in the near future, especially in 2027, it will definitely have an effect.
For instance, before his demise, kwende ya bunge ya Kasipul, njasiri tumo bungo ondo wiri. ndese bunge lito karura mwana wo Bondo Were by the name Boyd Were kahote na kuligo bunge. There is another competitor kwa Philip Aroko who as well wanted seriously a ticket ya ODM. But ingoro chibura anyatuka waka manage very easy. Boyd Were kanyore ticket and Philip Aroko is now under independence. Say is running independently.
Yes.
Again, tubuna keria ne it shows amaskania manene somo tubuna Raila oyo bere kago push. Yani again to keria tekebe, he could go for it. Lakini avolinga, are we really going to expect him to bune wiki kiagara? He could come to a region, he could say we want to go support for parliamentary seat.
Yes.
Ayana umura or inuga to go makora muna ikiama kia ODM karabu atesio na again tekana na bereka gurwani mono utuara numbers asebu na for instance sai ikiama kia ODM getekete sana Ruta join, which might not be easy. Ikiaga Ruto already has got a house agachire na it is doing good. Toko nyara konte inga na ijeliyo motekinya ni chance kiranda ere kisareke osekikwe, which is not easy. What is the least expected if that one happens?
If he joins ODM,
if it does not join.
If he does not join.
Yes.
First, we talked of the by-elections in Kasipul, where you mentioned how the ODM managed itself.
Yes.
And sometimes there is talk in town that people or Babat had trusted leaders like Wanga was one of them. Yes. And they say Boyd is Wanga's pick, actually not Baba's pick, because according to street talk, for how we get it, is that Wanga wanted Boyd to go after, to take it after his father, because the father actually endorsed Wanga in his gubernatorial race, and they were working closely. Of course, so it's that animosity that Kagera, they didn't want Koaroko the ticket. Much as personally I like the way he's campaigning. I'm actually following what he's doing in his campaign in Kasipul, and I can tell you it's marvelous. We do not know which way. Is it ODM or independent this time for Kasipul? Because the guy has amassed, the people has gotten to the hearts, and he's doing his campaign. Of course, Boyd has the support of the ODM. You will note from the campaigns in Kasipul that at any time Boyd goes to the people, he must have an ODM bigwig with him every single day. Sure. I have actually followed his campaigns, and I'll note. Yesterday, one of the MPs, Koru Migori, Kaluma Peter, the other day he was with another one. So he must have Boyd and please elect me on this agenda. Whereas the other side, we are seeing Aroko leading his campaign alone, and people are responding. What we do not know whether people are going to have the spirit out here. Maybe they may still, because it's just a few weeks go to elections, and of course the spirit ya Baba, and then finally if ODM organizes and goes there, they chant the Baba songs, and the people will feel that thing. We are not even sure whether it will, because Aroko is also doing well. Now, countrywide, is that going to be reflected? We have coastal region where Baba would go and endorse a candidate and they win. If he said you're the governor and you win, Luo Nyanza, parts of Kisi, you know, he had a lot of influence, and Ukambani and some other parts. We do not know whether the new leadership out here, which I doubt, and that is why they really crave for Ruto to come in, because much as he's an opponent, he'll work with Baba. He looked like during the last time Kia Baba, we are told he paid the medical bills. He flew him to India. He actually gave him a state funeral. You know, people are feeling like kumbe these people were friends, you know, much as they were competitors in the 2022 elections. So they want him on board to be the father figure at ODM. Would Ruto be willing to sacrifice his party to join ODM? And what then happens to UDA post 2027? Because would it be there to leave the legacy ODM has left for 20 years? Or would it be have used as a party ya koira chikura, then ekwe?
Yes, sana. How do you think ODM as ODM's survival and success might impact Kenya's broader political landscape and the democratic development?
In terms of democratic development, Baba had the ideals. Baba had learned from the best, I would say. Our forefathers, you know, who included Kenyatta Mzee, Odinga Mzee mwenyewe, those people who fought for democracy. And now Baba was counted among the second liberation, where he was fighting for freedom, where we had multi-partyism. He was fighting for freedom of speech. He was fighting for a lot of rights that included, later were included in the constitution. Now, do we have a person to continue the fight? Is the question. Of course, there is the third liberation, which has been taken over by Gen Zs, who believe then that accountability must be part of leadership, because Gen Zs want accountable leaders. They want a leader who accounts for the use of resources and the use of the power. So, of course, new leaders will emerge. Every time there has been a vacuum, it's always been filled, but it takes years before we have a figure, a person to take the might of Baba. It will take us 10, 20, 30 years before we get that kind of a leader. Look at our leaders. That's the other issue. Their ages. Would they be living in the next 30 years? Kalonzo, sorry to say, I'm not contemplating the death of anyone. Or there is kutoka siasa, usikuru siasa kuonde bwenzi. Ndo tokwe bolinga nto bwata baranyare kokende otenena sustain the war, sustain the fighting, because Baba was one person na tebia bantonga nchumbu ate, you know, you would give serikali yoke kobo nga yoku mutako muire. Do we have such a person surviving? So I think it's going to be shaky even for Kenya. It's going to be a problem for us to finally get people who genuinely stand for democracy and the ideals that Baba believed in.
Yesa ndocho monjo mligili ni kutubwata kidai kaisano tumenye gukora tukora ligilia balia bagenda tukutubwata sensemo yemitandao chujumbe chiabo lakini ndo tutaraga ndase chujumba kusu tuara sogwanga before Baba tara chusira tukara a group of young leaders who was kiamakirigia ODM bago form some of that tevena kaombe kandi kakoroka Kenya moja agwa setu agwate Sifuna Kalabamisi Babo Wino Cyrus Bagendi and they were really pushing for even tebia kukoreka na miense yetu ya Kenya. They were pushing for amagender and they could really call the government into accountability osuma kabisa serikali ya William Ruto tukoralia onekero abaragete kia makiaudia bagutaka kumwaka magena Sifuna Baba could come in and say Sifuna is talking on behalf of the party and okarano mugavana ku county hakisi. There is a time no era kontenga amangana edu Sifuna gukwana migara mangana arengete kia makiaudia tani gukwana gento kinde gios lakini mwani kabunoro chekia makere muna magaya Raila gosira probably okuyumba nono ko bamubuli bwabo morava tutebaga coalition okoranga kuyumba kwa kadiri ikagara each and everybody could really wishing Sifuna tigarali Babo tigarali but oko tigara kwabo enko buhata reasons na nditima itiga kya urako beke. Babu wants to run for a gubernatorial seat in Nairobi. Do you think that you will ticket? Ikiama kia ODM. There is another guy Urukutimu Wanyonyi.
Yes.
Wanyonyi is a Westlands MP under ikiama kia ODM, and they still want to go for the same. Even tubune bigana bitu tukobora niga ngakibira achikoba made easy for one baba era konyota kiriko support si support Sakaja era kore tamu ya miaka ibere ngaki county ya Nairobi go chikoba managed.
Those are the political offers that we are hearing about. But there are those people who have survived by the mercies of Raila Odinga himself, especially in Nairobi. Raila himself had made a decision, he'll support Sakaja. He actually went out of his way to make sure the impeachment did not go through. And those who wanted that position under ODM, actually Tim Wanyonyi has transferred. Governor Bungoma, he knew that ticket Nairobi. He tried the other time, and Babu, in the fear, Baba will not. If Baba, it's not even ODM, Baba would have not allowed him to run. He moved out. We do not now know that without Baba himself is not there, and the party might want to field a candidate, whether he may get a ticket. If they consider and they now realize that finally the person who was shielding Sakaja is sorry, God rest his soul in peace, not with us, and now the party can have some freedom. Yoko Nyarako to field a candidate in Nairobi. In other regions, we have people speculating that in Migori, we have Junet Mohammed, whether he will survive post-Baba, because then he was one person who survived. He always had the ODM ticket. Sure. You would not contest against him. Sure. Once I get a ticket, he'll be there and he'll win. The Kalumas, the Wangas, all those who are around Baba, those who are his confidant for the ticket, are they now going to survive, or are we now going to see casualties? Definitely. One speaker said that parasites lazima watu warasibikoroma. So asikonye baromete bono taiyo. What is going to happen? They'll have to scatter. They'll all have to go. We will definitely have casualties in 2027. Yes. Governors, now they must come out and cut out their political figure. Because now Junet without Baba, what happens in Migori? People will go back and say we possibly need our own. Or would he actually in the first case win the ODM ticket? Is he so popular that you would always win that ticket? So those are some of the things that are going to affect the leadership in ODM, and maybe it may not disintegrate immediately. They will try to unite and force Konya Kominyoka Kogendra, but along the way, as Baba the face here Baba go fed, then ODM will definitely have repercussions. The young leaders, Ibagendi and the team who are now coming together is it Kenya Moja? Now we want to imagine, or personally I want to imagine that the next leaders of the country are going to come from that team. They look a bit younger. They have learned from Baba. They have learned political. They have cut their political space and have got their ideals. We expect that in the long run, considering their age, that any of them who sustains that talk here, democracy, the fight for human rights, accountability, is going out to come out as the next big thing, the next political big win in the republic.
Yeah, sana sokore, lakini I want to, if you were given a chance today, kama omo wakili na boigo mo manyibo mangana siasa, obasemi bua ngo kuchasi kama kia ODM bwa kutoka.
Must tread consciously, must even just pretend that they are united. For the Kenyan public to trust them, the leadership must be wise this time than any time before, because their figure father is not with them, and the unity. The Kenyans can only trust them if we do not see them fighting. If we see them chasing each other left, right, center, we will all be scattered. Followers of ODM, followers of Baba. So that leadership of ODM must be so intelligent and cunning this time to ensure that they give us the trust, they give us a show of unity for the rest of Kenya to honestly remain in ODM and still pursue the ideas of Baba.
Yes, sana. Thank you so much wakili. Abeire kideka chinkira kini a lot of wisdom poured. May God bless you. Yabona singing chuo. Lakini ndio tutara koro mwancho muligilia. Ndo chaiganga ODM deputy party leader governor we county ya Kisii Paul Simba Arati. Nigo ndo chaira kwa kago ikirana se ege ikaro somorobelio wa Nairobi County delegate oyo obo atrenete boigo delegates kurwase all sub counties na nigo anyereko baga kwaliga nigwa na omonyakiro weke makia ODM se branch ya Osoro Sagerwa Nairobi George Ladwa oyo boigoro mu mobunge ensemo ya Makadara mwachubuliria aidhigati ya lega ndeteko baga kwena kiwana nazo kamenya mbono mwachubuliria to watira ndebya na Joseph Mokote sesemo ichi camera kingaki Joshua Utara sasa bakabye studio was transmission koneke maliogi ne chibicha dana koboga gisoi muna botambe ne to kubatira na koneke boikera nubo bolio okora neta na mangana mayana se kribosio kubori ganda kulilia eta TV ne robora bugusinche ngor kwa Cyrus Azizi ndimo sana mahina singicho. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.